warrants, is it?
Is that good for you? I guess we'll get started. Good morning, everybody. I'll start with my name and spelling. I'm assuming you want theirs as well?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Johnny Carter, JohnieCarter.
Jason Williams, JASONWILLIAMS. I'm the supervisor of the 28th under Director Carter.
Good morning, Kelvin Evans, KELVINEVANS, Chief of Police, Brownsville, Tennessee.
You guys ready? All right. Good morning. Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate everybody being here. I'm going to read a brief statement to you, and then I'll try to answer a few of your questions if possible. First of all, I'd like to recognize agents from the West Tennessee Violent Crime and Drug Task Force, especially the 28th Judicial District of that, as well as the 28th Judicial District Attorney's Office of Frederick A.G., investigators from the Tennessee Board of Pharmacy and the Tennessee Health Investigation Board, and officers of the Brownsville Police Department and Medina Police Department. On December 10th, agents, investigators, and officers served a search warrant at 355 Saddlebrook Drive in Medina. This was pursuant to a 2-month-long undercover investigation where agents made purchases of the black market drug tirzepatide, which is issued for diabetes and is currently being reviewed as a weight loss drug. During the search of the home, agents seized approximately 330 vials of black market drugs tirzepatide, semaglutide, retatrutide, and cargrilantide. Evidence from the home showed the drugs were purchased from the black market and included the warnings on some not for human consumption and for research purposes only. It was further determined that the multiple individuals were paying hundreds of dollars a month to purchase these drugs from the front porch of the home. Agents arrested Emily Brooke Arnold, 41, of Medina, and charged her with impersonating a licensed professional, reckless endangerment with a deadly weapon, criminal simulation, money laundering, and selling a legendary drug. Rephrase that, selling a legend drug. Other evidence from the home led agents to apply for and receive a search warrant to search Medina Weight Loss and Wellness, located US 45 bypass, Medina, Tennessee, after discovering that Miss Arnold was supplying the clinic with these drugs. Agents seized approximately 279 vials of these drugs from that location. Evidence from that location and from the house led to a third search warrant being issued to search a second clinic known as Haywood Weight Loss and Wellness, located at 35 South Wilson here in Brownsville, Tennessee, where agents seized another 89 vials. In total, 698 vials seized from the 3 different locations. The owners and staff of both clinics are cooperating in the investigation and have immediately began calling their customers for a recall of the meds that were issued. This investigation remains fluid at this hour and is ever changing. We continue to investigate leads and are working with the drug manufacturer Eli Lilly to identify the drugs and any impurities that may be involved. We have established a hotline. If anybody has any information to report, if anybody has retrieved phone capabilities right now, so we set up an email hotline. It is weightloss28@scdag.com. GHTLOSSSCDAG.com. If you are in possession of any of these drugs, if you have purchased from these 2 clinics, please return them to the clinic immediately. If you to the you should not use any of these drugs, any of the substances purchased. I'll try to answer a few questions.
What are the
So I'm not a physician, but because they are labeled, in most cases, not for human consumption and for research purposes only, I would assume there are an astronomical amount of health concerns because we have no idea what's in them. We know if they are what they say they are on the bottle.
Hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
A lot of times is it to execute 2-month and go on multiple raids with something like this that's more of a counterfeit compared to what people generally consider the drug task force?
Well, we really consider it different. I mean, it's still a drug. It's not a controlled drug. It's a legend drug, so it's still to a degree in the state of Tennessee, and it's a health concern for our citizens. We are a violent crime and drug task force, so we do consider this
Just two questions. I'm Avery. Nice to meet y'all today. The first question I have is there a street name to these drugs?
no. Summers.
No, there's 3 drugs.
One second. And the second question is, what tipped you off about these drugs?
Complaints from citizens got us started on it.
were these from individuals that Arnold was selling to, or were they brought from the clinic, the patients at the clinics?
It was brought from initially from Arnold's. I reluctant to call them patients per se.
Yeah.
Individuals. Yes.
Have you guys ever had a case like this? And if so, when's the last time you had a case like this?
So the last time I believe that we worked on anything that was just a legend drug and not controlled was probably back in about 2015. We did Bonneville Pharmacy.
Did these weight loss clinics know that this woman was getting the drugs from the black market, or were they under the impression these were the real thing?
So I'm not going to get into that part of it right now. We're still doing some investigating.
What type of complaints did you have? Someone just came to you and like, oh my God, I'm losing weight?
I'm going to let my special agent in charge address those.
No, the basis of the complaints most of the time was, am I doing something wrong? I'm ordering weight loss shots and picking them up off of a front porch of a lady in Medina. And a lot of them was like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong and I want to know if I'm doing something wrong. So that's kind of what got us started into the investigation part of it. It's my it'd be like a porch pickup type deal. She'd put it outside and you either Venmo or Cash App her or put the money under the mat and leave with the medicine.
For the 2 clinics that were selling these, so you said that they're notifying their patients right now, or is there any other things that they need to be doing, refunding them, anything else that they need to?
As law enforcement, I can't really comment on that directly. That's more of I believe, a civil issue, which we don't get involved in. But yes, they did begin calling their patients while we were still searching the clinic. So we do know that has begun.
Was she like advertising this? How did this all, or do you know how this all kind of got started?
So yes, she was advertising it. She had a website that was up and functional that she was working off of, and she was also shipping drugs outside of the state of Tennessee.
The people who were selling them at the weight loss clinics, though, they're not facing any charges or consequences right now?
I can't comment to that. We're going to continue working the case, and we're going to present our findings to District Attorney Frederick Agee, and he will make the determination as to whether or not there should be charges or grand jury presentation.
Do we have an example of how the drugs look?
I can email you. I have pictures. Since we're still working the investigation, I didn't bring any with us. We didn't want them out exposed to anyone else. But I can email you pictures of a booking photo, and I can email you pictures of the drugs.
How are they used? You said they're vials, so like shots that people?
Yes, they're shots. Yeah, you have to do a self-injection, or you could have someone inject you. But it would be similar to a diabetes shot. It would be just under the skin, usually in the belly area.
Do you know how many people were sold these shots from the clinic, or the woman sold them to?
So not right now. We're still investigating that part of it. We have several electronics that were seized that we're going to have to do search warrants and searches of to be able to get an exact number. but hundreds. At a minimum, hundreds.
Do you know how long she was operating out of the Medina house?
More than a year, up to probably 2 years. Again, we're still investigating that, but we do know it's been over a year.
And do you think that there are other weight loss clinics that have been purchasing from her? Or
That's
do you know
also
yet?
still under investigation. We haven't uncovered anything yet, but again, we still have a lot of investigating left to do.
Does HIPAA, I mean, it doesn't apply, are there customer privacy rules that will be applicable for this?
For the clinics, absolutely, because they are patients of the clinic.
And how do you pierce that? Can you do that with a search warrant?
It would have to be through a search warrant, yes. Or if we have someone that comes forward and gives us permission, gives us their permission to access their medical files. Yes.
Sorry if you answered this already, but that's Ms. Arnold. Is she still in custody and does she have a bond?
I do not know at this hour. She was booked into the Gibson County Jail. She did make a $100,000 bond there, but we also charged her here in Haywood County. I know she was brought here to Haywood. I don't know if she's posted bond yet. I did not check this morning.
Do you have a mugshot you could share with us?
I do. I can email that to you as well.
My question is, since she was also, booked in 2 different counties, you would think, I'm just assuming you would think that she would be able to bond because she's been able to, harm so many people. So what do you have to say to that?
I don't have an opinion on that. That gets out of my wheelhouse. We try to stick with investigating and putting together a case that can be successfully prosecuted. That gets up to judges and district attorneys, and we're just not qualified to make those statements.
Just real quick, there's going to be some people who watch this and they're going to kind of brush it off as though it's a weight loss drug. Can you stress the importance of getting these drugs off the street?
So to answer your question, that's a good question. To answer your question, are they a weight loss drug? Because right now we don't know. We don't know what's in any of those particular vials. Could be sugar. It could be anything. It could be any chemical. We don't know. We've had some complaints where some of them were taking them for quite a while and they did nothing. And then we've had complaints where they were actually working. So again, we don't know. Some of them could be the actual chemical. Some of them could be nothing. They could have adulterants of any kind in there. And that's our major concern. We don't know, nobody knows right now what these people are putting in their bodies.
You said that hundreds of people have been taking, these particular vials. Do we have any reports of?
Not that have been reported to us. That's why we established the email hotline, so that if there have been some of these instances, they can get in touch with us, and we'll be happy to follow up with them on that as well. There's just no way for us to know.
On that email hotline, what types of things should the people who are taking these shots provide to you, so you know to?
Sure, if they've been buying them, especially without having been informed of the origin of the drugs, and would like to tell us, get in touch with us and say, hey, I'm a victim, we want to hear from them. And if they've been injured in some kind of way through taking the shots, we want to hear from them. And if they just have something that they feel like they need to let the police know in regards to this case, we want to hear from them.
And do you know how much the shots cost when someone bought them from her?
So my special agent in charge acted as the undercover on this. I'm going to let him talk to you about that.
It was around, the purchases we made was anywhere from $155 to $160, and that was a month's supply.
So how many shots is that?
7. I think 7 was in the first pack, and then the second one we bought a vial and the water to mix it.
Any idea how much money, I know she's charged with money laundering.
Yes.
Is there any amount of money that you believe that she actually obtained from this illegal operation?
We do know at this point that the clinic's spent between $60,000 and $80,000 since January of this year alone with her. We have yet to uncover what the individuals who were buying directly from her have spent. We have frozen some assets, and we're investigating those and are likely to probably seize those in connection with the case.
Is that each clinic or all together?
Total. Both clinics are owned by the same company. I will get that and let you know. I do not know.
Do you foresee federal charges? Or is that still in the works?
It could be possible. I'm sure there are some agencies that may want to come in and look at this.
Especially
We haven't.
in other states.
We haven't opened any or talked to anybody at this point. We're still so early and still investigating.
So again, can you just stress to those who were taking this shot, is there anything that they should be worried about?
So if they have any, don't take any more. 'Cause she was selling them. Uncovered some evidence where she had sold several months' supply at a time. So if you've got some at home in your refrigerator or in your drawer or whatever, and you're planning on taking them, don't. Go see a regular physician, get a checkup, and get the legitimate prescription shot.
USA.
615 US 45 bypass in Medina. Anybody else with any more questions? That's all I have. Thank y'all for coming. And if you can give me some cards or write down some emails, I will make sure that everyone gets photos of the drugs, booking photos, and I will find out a court date and put that in the email as well.